Welcome to Have History Will Travel. I am your host, the Wilder Historian, and I fully intended to have a Civil War themed video for this week. But I was also researching and preparing the video for the Battle of Gifford Courthouse that will be uploaded in the coming weeks, and I ran across an interesting primary source, and I wanted to share it with you today. Now, if you've seen my video on the Battle of Cowpens, you will understand what I'm talking about. If not, please go check it out. But in the case of Daniel Morgan, he was the American commander at the Battle of Cowpens. He thought a lot of the militia and used them very well. General Nathan Green had some bad experiences with the militia, but a lot of what we hear about the American militia during the American Revolution is positive, and they were integral to many battles. However, George Washington had some important thoughts on the American militia and militia in general. So I wanted to read this primary source account from George Washington in October of 1780. I am religiously persuaded that the duration of the war and the greatest part of the misfortunes and perplexities we have hitherto experienced are chiefly to be attributed to the system of temporary enlistments. Had we in the commencement raised an army for the war, such as was within the reach of the abilities of these states to raise and maintain, we should not have suffered those military checks which have so frequently shaken our cause, nor should we have incurred such enormous expenditures, as we have destroyed our proper currency, and with it all public credit. A moderate compact force on a permanent establishment, capable of acquiring the discipline essential to military operations, would have been able to make headway against the enemy, without comparison better than the throngs of militia, which at certain periods have not been in the field, but in their way to and from the field. For from that want of perseverance, which characterizes all militia, and of that coercion which cannot be exercised upon them, it has always been found impracticable to detain the greatest part of them in service, even for the term for which they have been called out. And this has been commonly so short, that we have had great proportions of time, two sets of men to feed and pay, one coming to the army, and the others going from it. From this circumstance, and from the extraordinary waste and consumption of provisions, stores, camp equipment, arms, clothes, and every article incident to irregular troops, it is easy to conceive what an immense increase of public expense has been produced from the source of which I am speaking. I might add the destruction of our agriculture by calling off at critical seasons the laborers employed in it, as has happened in instances without number. It is time we should get rid of an error which the experience of all mankind has exploded, and which our own experience has dearly taught us to reject, the carrying on of a war with militia, or which is nearly the same thing, temporary levies, against a regular, permanent, and disciplined force. The idea is chimerical, and that we have so long persisted in it is a reflection on the judgment of a nation too enlightened as we are, as well as a strong proof of the empire of prejudice over reason. If we continue in the infatuation, we shall deserve to lose the object we are contending for. America has been almost amused out of her liberties. We have frequently heard the behavior of the militia extolled upon one another on occasion by men who judge only from the surface, by men who had particular views in misrepresenting, by visionary men whose naivete easily swallowed every vague story in support of a favorite hypothesis. I solemnly declare I never was witness to a single instance that can countenance an opinion of militia or raw troops being fit for the real business of fighting. I have found them useful as light parties to skirmish in the woods, but incapable of making or sustaining a serious attack. This firmness is only acquired by habits of discipline and service. I mean not to detract from the merit of the militia. Their zeal and spirit upon a variety of occasions have entitled them to the highest applause. But it is one of our greatest importance we should learn to estimate them rightly. We may expect everything from ours that militia is capable of, but we must not expect from any services for which regulars alone are fit. Now we must remember that this report by Washington was written after the mishap at Camden, where the militia ran. It will be a few more months before the militia did as they were told by Morgan at Cowpens. From what I've seen, this opinion did not change much from what is represented here. Thank you all so much for watching. Please share the videos to help support the channel. I will have that Battle of Gifford Courthouse video up in the next coming weeks. I will have a historical newspaper article to read later this week, and I'll also have a Civil War themed video for next Tuesday. Thank you again, and have a nice day.